It is November 9th, and somehow my sheep are still outdoors. Today is Saturday, November 9th, and I'm currently out checking the sheep that are on the solar farm. It's been a rough week. We've had the stomach bug going through our house, so my husband came down sick with it and hasn't been able to do much all week. Tuesday night was honestly the worst night because there was so much that had to be done, and I had to stay after for FFA, and then I had to vote, and it was just a whole lot of rushing around, then get the kids fed in bed. But enough of my BS. It's ironic because my sheep are very persistent about it when I have grain in my hands, but they never really get grain. The only time they get it is when we need to catch them, and right now I don't need to catch them. So I'm going to go put it over here on this water tank so that I can have a little chat with you. Mainly the grain exists to get their attention, and they were standing not too far from the water tub, so I didn't have to try too hard to get their attention. It is November 9th, and somehow my sheep are still outdoors. I am located in the western region of New York State, and this is a pretty unique situation because in the 7 years that we've had sheep and owned our own farm, they've always been locked in, usually by the first week of November, and if it's not, it's shortly thereafter. This is the first year that, and it's ironic because we got this solar contract and it's much easier to keep them here than having them at home, because if they were still at home, we would be rotating them on our hay field, which is very time consuming, and given the situation with my husband and now my youngest child seems to have gotten it, it's a little bit problematic. It's very time consuming to move them every 2 days when we also have a million other things going on. So since this had not been previously grazed, we are not intensively rotationally grazing them. We're mob grazing. We just brought them in, dropped them off. We make sure their water tubs are full, and that's pretty much it. And there's a decent amount of grass here to sustain them. So, you know, once the snow flies, they'll come home, but it's just unique. It's a unique situation, and I'm thankful that this contract kind of fell into our lap. Any other given year, it's usually right before I leave for nationals, the project is getting the sheep in the barn, and that's when we start feeding them hay. And for those of you that don't really know where I'm located in western New York, it's about an hour south of Buffalo, but it's also lake effect country. So usually when we get snow in November, historically in the last couple of years, it has been massive amounts of snow. I remember one year, it was right before, a week or two before Thanksgiving, we got dumped on with like 3 feet of snow in one night. So this typically can't happen this late in the month. I'll let you see them. They all seem to be doing very well, are healthy, are keeping condition on. This is our big breeding ram. He seems to think I'm going to feed him grain. But they all are doing very well, and they're chunky, which is what I want. The rams that are in here are doing their job. This little guy, I feel a tiny bit bad for him because he's low man on the totem pole, and obviously the big red guy beats him up every time that he tries to breed a female. But I do see that he's gotten some green markings on some of these ewes, so that's a positive. You're so adorable. I love your markings. We used breeding harnesses this year with 2 different colors. So the red is the big ram and the green color is from the little guy. So it definitely does look like we may get some babies out of him. Another